There are, of course, two wars going on at the moment. There's the war in Ukraine, about which I seem to talk quite a lot, and then there's the other war, which I don't talk about so much, but I think it is implicit, which is the war championed by Nadine Dorries to get Rishi Sunak replaced by Boris Johnson. This is the pointless war, and it is in full flow. And so Miss Dorries was on her Twitter account tweeting away, or twitting away, about how inadequate Rishi's efforts are, and with the implication that Boris would make things so much easier. It's all speculation. It's going to come to nothing. War is something I think one goes to very, very reluctantly. Nadine Dorries, of course, can think of nothing better than kicking up a bit of a fuss. Not for her constituents, not for the people who write to her, simply to entertain herself. What we need to be doing in this country now is finding a way through the mess that has been created by Brexit. And I think there is a way to find a route forward. The first thing to do, we have to sort out the NHS. Sorting out the NHS is about encouraging a lot of bureaucrats to resign, not replacing them, and giving as much pay as we possibly can to those people who actually do the work. Demonstrating by payment what is of value. Now, that may be hard for people who are themselves not doing very much work. The people in the Whitehall departments, the mandarins of Whitehall. That may be a tough call for them, but I think they need to recognise that and do it. The second job we need to do is exactly as Rishi says. We need to harness our education system to work for us and to give people the opportunity that has been so grievously lacking over the last 25 years. And that means, again, getting rid of the bureaucrats and actually putting education back in the classroom. Now, we have discovered through COVID that education at a distance works incredibly well, and a combination of education at a distance, getting the information from distance learning, Zoom calls, or from information broadcast to a whole classroom, we have learned that that works. The classroom teacher doesn't necessarily need to be the resource. We can plug in the resource, which means we finally have an opportunity across state school education and indeed private education to wheel out those programs for the more obscure subjects. So we can have people studying their passions at GCSE and A-level across the country, whether they are in private education or public education. Indeed, that is where private education should be putting its money to make sure it acts as a resource to those people who cannot afford it. And at the moment, we're not doing that. At the moment, we're playing games. And in fact, during COVID, a lot of the time, the distance learning programs were an attempt to do what we do in the classroom anyway, and they were failing. No, there is a method for incorporating distance learning and face-to-face learning in the classroom. That method has been trialled. That method was indeed something which I was looking at while I was working in Russia. It's a method also being championed and promoted across Israel and a number of other countries, but we were there very early on. And it's something that could change, it could change the face of education in a positive way, and it could bring the teachers, it could bring teachers with it. Demanding a lot more mathematics without having the mathematics teachers to provide that is an invitation to chaos and industrial action. We need to find better ways than, what are those things? PowerPoints and handouts to provide information. And those better ways already exist. Children, in my experience, have significantly more access and skill with YouTube and with the internet than most teachers can possibly master in the classroom. We should harness the things that children do well, and we should rely on children's ability. We should work on what is done well and make that better. And we should respect the fact that children have ideas and young adults have ideas, and these need to be encouraged and developed, not submerged and not crushed with maths. For goodness sake, if we teach maths well enough to GCSE, anybody can master the skills that we need for the rest of our life. But sadly, maybe we aren't doing that. Maybe we aren't doing that because we don't have enough maths teachers. And because we've been so waylaid by silly projects like the SMP Maths Project to try and make maths more entertaining or more digestible. Maths is entertaining and is digestible in the same way as Latin is, Greek is, and modern languages. The rewards of learning are the rewards of learning. We need to convince children and adults and indeed prime ministers that there is a reward in hard work. And then do it.